So you've just dropped your cold, hard-earned cash on the Carbonfly 25 by Astro RC. And now you're sat there staring at the box thinking, well, what's included in this? But more importantly, what else do I actually need to buy? And here's the truth. The drone is just the beginning. And if you buy the wrong gear, you're either going to be grounded or you're going to waste a ton of money. So stick around because I'm going to save you from both scenarios. Let me explain. What's up guys? So many of you bought the Carbonfly 25 or are interested in the Carbonfly 25 as your first drone, and you've flooded my DMs, the Discord, and even my emails in the comment section asking, what else do I need to buy? I want to get everything. What does it come with? What doesn't it come with? So I figured rather than replying to each one of those, I'm going to set out a video and show you different options for different price points. So we're going to look at controllers, goggles, lipos, and of course, a way to charge all that stuff up as well. And maybe some props. First up then is the controller. And here's where people mess up because they either go too cheap or they regret the decisions and overspend on features that they're never going to use. So I'm going to give you three options. I'm going to give you the cheapest worth buying, and then I'm going to give you the option of a gamepad style controller and a traditional style controller. You can then decide whether you want to cheap out and go for the very cheapest option just to get you in the air and see how it feels, or if you want to pick something that fits you and have the best possible available from day one. The cheapest worth buying, in my opinion, is the Radiomaster T8L. It's bargain basement. It doesn't have a screen. It is only 100 milliwatts. You do have to use an online configurator, but we have got a video to show you all the details of what you need to do with that. For most pilots, it's probably going to be more than enough to make you decide whether or not you want to stick with the hobby. My only main concern with it is some pilots often will fly further away than what they realise they potentially should do, especially when they're new, because of the whole excitement of let's just go. And you may have issues. Although it is ELRS, so it shouldn't be a problem. It's just something to bear in mind. Now, if you want the best gamepad style FPV controller, well, that's an easy one. That's the Flysky ProArt P801. Feels pretty much like an Xbox controller. It's got 500 milliwatts of ELRS power, so enough to get you multiple miles away and break many regulations as you do it, depending on what country you're in, of course, as well as that lovely, beautiful color screen, those LEDs, and it just feels so nice in the hand if you're looking for a premium gamepad style controller. Now, if you want a traditional style radio, like a box style radio, in my opinion, the best to buy is going to be the HelloRadio V14 Max. Some of you might say, whoa, hang on a minute, what about the TX15? That's got a colour touchscreen and it's got a carbon effect and it's got this and that. Take all of that out of the equation for a second. You're a brand new pilot. What's the most important thing that you need? You need to feel confident on those sticks. And the R9 CNC gimbals in the HelloRadio V14 Max are, in my opinion, by far and away the best available. The V14 Max actually is quite cheap as well for what it is these days. And of course, it's got a 1 watt ELRS, so range and penetration are never going to be an issue. All right then, so that's your controller sorted. But you can have the sickest controller in the world. If you buy the wrong goggles, or goggles that are not very good, you're going to have a pretty poor experience. Now, I'm specifically talking about the Carbonfly 25 here, which comes with options mainly for DJI and DJI O4 Pro. So I'm going to talk about that when I talk about goggles, but you need to pick the ecosystem based upon, or the goggles based upon the ecosystem that you want to choose. So if you're somebody who thinks, no, I'm definitely going to be picking Walk Snail, or I'm definitely going to be picking HD0, then this particular segment isn't going to be for you. So the cheapest possible available that's worth buying is the DJI goggles N3. You won't get support for things like the O3, or you won't get support for things like the Vista and other newer models. You are pretty much going to be limited to what you're at. But for the price and to get you into the DJI ecosystem, they are a bit of a bargain, really. Now, sure, they don't have OLED screens, but they do have a really lovely wide-angle LCD singular screen, and it does look really quite nice. The best possible available? Well, that's going to be the DJI Goggles 3. They're extremely premium. I use them every single day. They fit perfectly well. You've got a lovely pair of OLED screens. You've got lots of features that I never use, but the main reason that I use them is the fit of them and how I can see through those screens can be adjusted. I've got quite bad eyes. I wear contact lenses. So the fact that I can adjust them individually really does help somebody like me avoid motion sickness and avoid getting headaches. You could also consider checking out a used pair of Goggles 2. It's really important that I say Goggles 2 and not Goggles V2. The Goggles V2 are the older, bigger style ones. They do not support the O4 Pro. So it's the Goggles 2 or the Goggles Integra. You'll have to look second hand for them. They're very similar to each other with a few different features here and there. But again, if you can find a used pair that's in good condition, it may well be worth considering. Boy Wonder FPV, incidentally, flies the Goggles 2 every day. So, they are still really, really good. The reason why he has them instead of a Goggles 3 is because he's got a smaller head and smaller eyes, whereas the Goggles 3, they're a bit wider when it comes to the screens for somebody like myself. So the Goggles 3 just fit better. The Goggles 2 fit better for him. The Goggles 3 fit better for me. Just is the way it is. So let's talk about lipos, because you can have a great controller, you can have a great pair of goggles, but if you haven't got a battery, you ain't going anywhere. Now, when it comes to the Carbonfly, there's two lipos that I'm going to recommend to you. The first one will be the sub 250 or the sub 250 720 mAh LiHV. Now, if you're a brand new person to the hobby, there are two different types of lipo batteries. There's a lipo and there's a lipo LiHV. And I have got other videos on charging, so don't worry, I won't go too in depth here. But the long and the short of it is an LiHV will allow you to charge it instead of to 4.20 volts, which is what a lipo will charge to, but to 4.3 volts. So you'll get more capacity on the same cell. Now there is the question of, do LiHV cells run out and die quicker when you use them over standard cells? I've got to be honest, I use LiHVs virtually every single day. I charge them virtually every single day, and so far I've had no cells die or prematurely age on me. So take that as you may. And then the other one, in my opinion, is a little bit more expensive, but I think it's worth it because of how much extra flight time you get, and that's the GNB 880 4S LiHV. Now I'm talking 4S for both of them because the Carbonfly 25 is a 4S drone. 4S means how many, or S should I say, means how many cells your battery has. If your drone is a 4S or a 4-cell rated drone and you put a 6S battery in it, you're adding 2 more cells and you're adding more voltage and you will blow things up in the main. But generally speaking, the easiest way to think of it is you blow things up. If you was to use a 3S battery, you will still get somewhere, but you will have about 72.5% less power than you would on a 4S. The other thing as well to note, again, this is more sort of aimed at the newer pilots, but it's very tempting to say, well, hang on a minute, there's a 4S battery there, it's really cheap, and it's 4,000 milliamp hours, and this guy's recommending 720 milliamp hours. I'll get the one with 4,000 milliamp hours because it'll last longer. You have to consider a bigger battery will weigh more, and when you're flying, you have to carry that weight. So if you're lifting something heavier, what are you doing? You're using more power to lift that heavier thing. So you have a point in the sort of balance in the scales whereby too much weight will drag down the efficiency, and actually a battery with a longer or a higher rated milliamp hours will actually last longer than a lighter, smaller one because you're having to use extra power. As an example, when I take off with the sub 250 Oasis Fly 35 on a 720 mAh battery, I'm using around about 18% throttle. When I use an 880, I'm using about 21% throttle. Obviously, if I added a really heavy battery, I'm going to be using 50-60% throttle. So it's a diminishing return. Now the Carbonfly 25, when it comes to props, does come with some HQ 2.5 inch props. And honestly, I would just replace it with those ones. Because of the type of the drone that it is, it's easy to replace it with those ones. But if you can't get them where you live for whatever reason, just replace it with what's called T-mount props of 2.5 inches. Now, each motor will spin in a certain way, so you'll have to make sure that when you replace a prop, you replace it like for like. So look at the blades and make sure the blades are going the same way. But we've got a really helpful Discord if you struggle with things like that. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description down below. Please do come and join us, because not only can you ask for help, support, buying advice, because I like buying things, but you can also share your flight footage with us, and you can share your wins when you do manage to get airborne or whatever. Share them with us, because we are a family of pilots. We love seeing everybody else succeed, and it's just a really great and chill place to be. Now, I do have affiliate links for everything that I've mentioned in the description down below. As I always say, if you use them, it will help the channel. If you don't want to use them, it's fine. It doesn't bother me, because I'm here as a pilot first and a YouTuber second, and I just want us to all share and enjoy the same things together. But if you see something that you like that I've highlighted here and you do want to support the channel, click on one of the links down below, because it won't cost you any extra, but it will help the channel and maybe just push us to that next level. We are really going to aim as hard as we possibly can for that 100k in 2026, and we want you to come with us. Join the Discord. Send us your flight footage when you take off for the first time. Make sure you tag us in it. Until next time, legends, peace out. YouTube and I have had a chat, and we believe that this is the video that you'll like the most, so watch it and let me know if they're right.